What's going on, guys? It was Game Archer here with a brand new video for you guys today. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the Scales of Judgment, a series where I do my reviews of any video games that have come out that has catched my eye. We call it Scales of Judgment because, you know, as our name is Anubis, and Anubis has his scales where he judges those who are dead. So today's video, we're going to do a review. We're going to put Street Fighter 6 on the Scales of Judgment. We're just going to be a little different than our normal reviews. Usually our reviews are, you know, kind of the cookie cutter, you know, bullets and things where like let's talk about gameplay, graphics, sound, you know how reviews work. We're gonna just be like a little bit more, you know, of a free-flowing review. You know, it's gonna be some back and forth. Just gonna involve like some backgrounds on, you know, myself, fighting games and things like that. So this review might be all over the place, as I do want to talk about a number of things, so I might jump back and forth between topics. But what's important to me is to first establish is that I am not a Street Fighter fanboy. I am not someone who has loved Street Fighter for years. I'm someone who has viewed Street Fighter from the outside looking in. I've seen people play the games, for example, like Maximilian do. I've seen like gameplay. I've seen, you know, the movies. I've seen a lot of content as an outside viewer who is not playing the actual games themselves. You know, a few characters have always been interesting to me that I call favorites of mine without even playing the games. Because again, like I said, watching the movie, I've seen like a lot of content, just never playing the game. Maybe like, you know, arcade games, but generally I am the one who's not like, you know, a Street Fighter guy. You know, Street Fighter 6 is basically my first Street Fighter game that I own. Again, like I said before, maybe I've played it when I was a kid at arcades, I don't remember, but for the most part when it comes to owning Street Fighter games, this is my first time owning one. All of my life, I've been a Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Injustice, and Mortal Kombat guy. Those were the only fighting games I play, and I play and buy every single one that released. Huge fanboy of those franchises. But even in those spaces, fighting games experience-wise, I'm a novice at worst, average at best. You know, like if you watch my content, watch my Twitch streams, which, you know, follow me box below, I'm a very good gamer when it comes to shooters. I'm a very good gamer when it comes to like Souls games and RPGs. But you don't really see me play a lot of fighting games because I don't really have the time for them, and I wouldn't call myself a fighting game guy, even though I do play a lot of fighting games here and there. Just don't give them as much time and effort as I give my shooters. So with that, I wouldn't normally play those games online, even Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, and, you know, Injustice, Mortal Kombat. I wouldn't play those games online. I beat their stories as a story modes of those games is why I buy those games. But then I'd also play against my friends and family in those games. That's pretty much like the only thing I would do when it comes to like a PvP experience for those games. Street Fighter 6 is the first fighting game where I actively seek out to play online PvP. Now, I will also say the reason why I never really got into PvP of fighting games is because I mostly play shooters and RPGs, so I never have time to play them. You know, to me, I always had this thought process that you need to be able to put a lot of time into a craft to become very good at it. I don't put time into fighting games. You know, I always felt like to really enjoy any game, not just fighting games, not just shooters, any game, what kind of game you play, Minecraft, Sims, you know, strategy and like XCOM and Warhammer, no matter what it is, no matter what genre, to really enjoy, to really improve at any of those games, you'd be playing that game so often to where like you know, like you know, the back of your hand. But here I am doing a review for Street Fighter 6, a game where obviously I'm not someone who is well versed in Street Fighter, let alone multiplayer fighting games. So the question becomes, why? Well, marketing. The marketing for Street Fighter 6 has been very good. It's been everywhere. No matter where I look, I see Street Fighter. When I see Street Fighter 6, I see colorful animations, spray paint look, a story mode called War Tour, and characters that draw me in, like Kimberly, Manon, and my main, Cammy, whom redesign was a great choice. As I said, I've always paid the franchise attention, so I know about all the main characters. I've always viewed Cammy as like your typical uninteresting, you know, eye candy blonde who's just there because, look, it's a blonde in a leotard, look at that ass, you know. But her redesign, you know, kind of made her more, I don't want to say respectable of a character, but, you know, it made it to where it's like, okay, she looks cool. Like, you know, the leotard doesn't look cool, just looks like basic eye candy, where it's like having her wear, you know, the leggings and jacket kind of has to look like Android 18, and that drew me in because I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan and I like Android 18. So her current look, her redesign looks like Android 18, and it got me. Now, even when it comes to her redesign, it still has like, you know, some fanfare there, some fan service there, because her in-game pose is definitely something there for the sexually thirsty individuals. Another thing Street Fighter 6 has that I like is the ability to make your own character. Now, as time of this review, you don't get to use your avatar in online matches, but only in World Tour, which is the game's attempt at a single player story mode. But I always say in my videos, I really like when a game allows me to make someone who looks like me in the game. You know, it's not about like a racial thing or anything like that. It's just a natural role-playing thing. Like I said, I play a lot of RPGs. I like to role-play as myself in video games, so being able to go on character in Street Fighter was definitely a plus that drew me into mind the game. Speaking of World Tour though, which is probably the worst part of the game, I love story, I love lore, and I love single player campaigns. As I said, I played Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Mortal Kombat, and Injustice mostly in part for their story experience. But World Tour in Street Fighter 6 is pretty lame. It's boring, it's uninteresting, it's kind of lazy, mostly just a time wasting thing for you to do when you want to break from online matches. Like, it's not very well thought out, it's not very, deep in lore, it's not very engaging or interesting. It's pretty meh. Like, it's just, as a kid say, it's mid. It's another one of those games that hires voice actors but don't actually have those voice actors read the lines in the campaign in the World Tour. Like, there's a lot of you reading dialogue instead of just having the voice actors who work on the game, that they're already paying to work on the game, read those voice lines. The open world is an illusion. It's not a real open world, but if you see videos of World Tour, it looks like, hey, this is an open world experience for a fighting game. It's not. It's an illusion. I kind of feel like I'm playing a less interesting version of Jump Force when I play World Tour. But let's rewind just a little bit to talk about online matching, as this is not only where I'd be spending most of my time in the game. It's not only the background footage for this video, it is the draw of this game, online multiplayer. So some of you probably watching are like, bruh, play some defense, slow down, or you aren't even good at this game. Both of you and your opponent are trash. I don't know why you're getting wins. Like, I beat the shit out of you. What's your name so we can play each other? Like, you have all the trash talk in the world to talk about the background gameplay and why you're better than the background gameplay. Have at it. If there's something to know about me when it comes to fighting games, I like being aggressive. I like having fun. I'm the Chris Lieben, Diego Sanchez, Clay Guida, Dan Henderson of fighting games. For those of you who aren't MMA fans, basically what I'm saying is I'm just out here trying to bang. I'm trying to like just swing for the fence and have some fun. I'm throwing hands. I don't care if I win or lose. I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to be entertaining for people who watch my content. You won't watch some boring freaking fight. You will see something entertaining and action-packed. I'm not trying to be the #1 ranked Cammy in the world. I'm trying to play a video game. The thing about Street Fighter 6 is this game is a game that punishes you very heavily for not blocking and not parrying. In other games, you can get away with doing like the bare minimum of defense and still be very good at those games. In Naruto, you can do substitutes and jutsus, and that's be like your basics for defense. You can get away with that. You can get away with speed transmitting in Dragon Ball Z. That'll be fine. In Mortal Kombat and Injustice, you can not block ever in those games and be very good and successful at those games. But Street Fighter 6, basically you better block or you're getting creamed. Understand, this isn't a complaint, I'm just mentioning it. So if you're someone who's like me, who wants to just, go balls to the wall, you're gonna lose a lot of games just based on the fact that you're not playing defense. So what I look for when I buy a fighting game is it fun? Does it have a good roster of characters? Does it have good campaign mode? And is there enough offline modes to entertain people who don't play online? For online, is there more than just ranked and casual house matchmaking? Is there balancing issues? At this point in the review, guys, we're getting into those bulletins. For Street Fighter 6, I say it's a very fun game. It has a solid launch roster and has already shown off what characters are coming in the future. The campaign on this World Tour is pretty bad. There are some offline modes, but not a lot. There's no ladders, no interesting missions that unlock characters, customization like those Brother Eye little world events that you would do Injustice 2. That doesn't exist here. Online is just casual and ranked. There's no online tag, no ranked online tag, things like that. Matchmaking in my experience has been quick, and I haven't had any lag myself, but I have watched other people, like my cousin, for example, and something Maximilian do, who I have seen like some minor lag in their gameplay. But that's pretty much it. Like, my own experience, I haven't really had any like crashes and things like that. I'm too much of a noob to Street Fighter to say what's too strong and what's too weak, so I can't talk so much about balancing. I know Kimberly has seen a nerf or is supposed to be getting a nerf. I say in comparison to other characters, Lily has a slow recovery speed, or everyone else is just so quick, again, in comparison to her, to where it just seems like her recovery speed is really slow. it is a really this game is really easy to go spam heavy in and Johnson your way into wins, aka the 5 moves of doom. But in this case, instead of 5 moves of doom, it's 3 moves of doom or 2 moves of doom. You can't do that in this game. Like, it's very easy to just go spam heavy with a couple moves and just win, especially going against someone like me who's not really going to be playing defense, who's just trying to freaking bang. But with that said, I do genuinely enjoy this game. It might have popped my fighting game PvP cherry, as it has me wanting to play more online fighting games and being in this game more online. Again, I don't really play fighting games online. I play them for the stories. And I keep mentioning that. I really play online. And what usually against when I do play PvP, I play against my friends, my family members, and people who are in my stream who come by and like, hey, I'm pretty bad fighting games. You want to play? Like things like that, stuff like that. But usually I'm just doing story content, or we're doing like ladders and Mortal Kombat. So with all of that said, Street Fighter 6 is a highly recommended game, in my opinion, if you're a casual fan of fighting games, because I feel like you can get into fighting games playing this game. But at the same time, if you are someone who's a veteran Street Fighter player, someone who's a veteran fan of fighting games, you will also find things to enjoy in this game. I've spoken to people who I know both in my own community, so those family members who are big fighting games fans, who enjoy this game even as being veterans of Street Fighter and veterans of fighting games. But at the same time, if you're casual, you can also find a way to enjoy this game. This game is pretty good. There's something for everyone with this game. So with all that said, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. This has been my review of Street Fighter 6 from a casual fan standpoint. Like I said, I don't like giving scores. I feel like scores are redundant. So is it good, is it bad, is all I care about. To me, it's a good game. You might enjoy it. Check it out. Do all things algorithm, like the video, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, but say YouTube. You're already on YouTube. Well, follow me here too, obviously, but follow me on Twitch. Share Monday to Thursday. I'll be your boy Anubis. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out of here. Deuces.